ready to get started.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Let's see who's on the call. I don't know if any other board members on the call. They may want to try and look. But anyway, thank you for joining our quarterly membership meeting. We sent out the agenda to everyone. My name is Alan Kamara. Let me introduce myself. I'm one of the board members.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Dulong. I work in BMC Bern and I'm one of the VPs.
I'm James Mount. I work in St. Louis Regional in the ICU and I'm one of the second VPs.
I'm Shannon Ruth and I'm one of the association representatives.
Hi, I'm Debbie Chang. I'm an RMPA consultant.
And I'm Thelma Godson, association representative.
Then I think we have some board members on as well. They want to introduce themselves.
Hi, this is Trisha Biddle, nurse practitioner and RMPA board of director member.
And I think we have Henry too. Henry?
Hi, everyone. Henry Soria, association representative.
That's it.
Hello.
Do you have any other board member? No?
What did I see?
So we're gonna just walk everyone through our agenda real quick. So we're gonna walk you through the county budgetary timeline. The reason why we want to talk about the layoff. The last time we had a membership meeting with the layoff, I know there were a lot of questions. We plan on sending you out a video or Q&A. The reason why we didn't do it is because the layoff that we just had, it wasn't a general layoff. It was layoff for specific units. We don't want to create confusion. But with this timeline, we are going to prepare and give you all enough information as we get them from the county, so that way everybody understood what's going on. Let's go through the county budgetary timeline. We'll have Shannon walk us through that.
Okay, so what the county is preparing for is the next fiscal year budget. So when you look at the timeline for the next fiscal year budget, the budget will be available from the county executive's recommendation on May 1st. That's really important because that means at that day, we'll have access as to exactly what's being proposed in the budget. Prior to this, we'll be meeting with the county and different departments to know if they have any intent to cut other positions. But this is when the recommendations will be posted and semifinal, we'll say. Then after that, the next important day would be May 11th, and that's when they'll have the budget workshops. What happens during the budget workshops is all the different department heads come and they discuss what their recommendations are. If we have anything that we want to bring forward that we agree with or don't agree with, this will be our time during the budget hearings. But prior to the hearings, when we look at the recommended budget, that's also our time to lobby to keep positions. So once we're aware of what's going to be happening in the budget, we'll be working with maybe impacted nurses, if we have any, to make sure that we lobby to try to keep positions by meeting with the Board of Supervisors and then also going to the budget hearings. Once the budget workshops are completed, which will be done on May 13th, then they vote on the recommended budgets. And then it's approved at that point in time, but then there has to be a second reading. So then the final budget will be heard on June 15th. And then those specifically, if you look at each day, it tells you what departments will be there. So the health and hospital system will be on June 15th, and that's when they'll have the final budget vote.
So let's go, Angela, if you want to go on the top again, let me just address something right there. So going back to the word layoff. So in the event that the county intend to do a layoff, by May 1st, RMPA would have been contacted and informed about layoff. And by then, RMPA will have the opportunity to mitigate the impact of that layoff. As of now, the county has not given any intention that there is going to be a layoff. We talked to Paul Lorenz. Paul Lawrence indicated that there may be some layoff, but he's not anticipating any nurse, like bedside nurse layoff. So what does that mean? It takes us to our third topic on our agenda, short staffing.
Oh, can I clarify one thing? Sorry, you guys, one thing, could you go up, down a little bit, Angelia? There's two readings of the budget. The first one would happen, at that meeting, the first meeting and this, I'm sorry, so there's two readings of the budget, I guess I was right. It would be the 11th and then the 15th.
Yes, there's always two reading there.
Yeah, I was
So
thinking-
what the reason for the two reading is usually when the county make a recommendation budget to the board of supervisors, the board of supervisors will ask questions and the union will also push they will push and try to argue some point. The board of supervisors will then give the county opportunity to go and address those issues and come back on the second budget hearing to do a final vote. But going back to what I was saying, before May 1st, the county, if there is going to be layoff, the county would have already notified RMPA about the layoff, and we'll have opportunity to discuss that with the county. And as soon as the county give us the update, we will announce that to our membership as well, so at least everybody's aware. Based on the meeting with Paul Lawrence, yes, he indicated there may be some layoff depending on how things go, but he's not anticipating any bedside layoff. Now, what does that mean? We as nurses, we have to make sure when we are short-staffed, and go back to the short-staffing notice, please fill up the forms. The only way we were able to prevent some of the layoffs, some of the positions that were supposed to be deleted, like the A&M positions and other positions, we were able to prove to the county that those departments are already short-staffed. So if you notice we didn't have any big impact in the inpatient area, we were able to do that by gathering all the level of staffing form that you are filling out. And we presented that case to the county executive, to Paul Lawrence, and the board of supervisors. So we know sometimes when you fill up those forms, you think nothing is happening. We use those forms to collect data. And if there is going to be a layoff, we have already established a pattern of short staffing to the county so that this layoff doesn't affect our respective unit. Please bear with us. We know some of you may have questions, but please bear with us. Let's go through the agenda and we'll open it for Q&A. Okay.
Yes, I might mention too that those nurses that were affected with the last layoff, they went to the board of supervisors meeting and we petitioned them to not give way of their positions. So I just wanted to mention that it takes some participation when these announcements occur.
And you can see that in our newsletter also. We put all those victories, those wins for RMPA membership on the membership newsletter as well. I think the next thing that we have is workplace safety issues that we've been dealing with, specifically VMC NICU. Recently, we have 2 incidents in the NICU where a patient's family member attacked the staff. The new NICU nurses called RMPA, informed RMPA. We went there. We are working with the county to make sure that unit is secure. We just want to make sure everyone knows. We just had another meeting today with the county captain and the lieutenant and the hospital system to address all workplace safety. And we asked them how the PSOs and SPSOs can respond. We emphasize that we don't have enough PSOs, and therefore some of the response times are kind of long than expected. We have agreed with the county to have a working relationship with the SPSOs and the deputy sheriffs. You will probably see us walking around with the deputy sheriffs, the captain and the lieutenant, and some, maybe probably Dr. Brown McKnight might join us for VMCs, just to make sure we are sure that if there is any incident in the future, that it's handled in a better way. We feel that the NICU management were having communication issue with the nurses and the staff there. we are working with them to make sure that doesn't happen again. We want to reassure all our nurses, if you have any incident in a unit, especially to what happened in NICU, that you come to us so RMP can help to address that for you. Okay. Now we can go to centralization of unit and resources. So recently, we'll have Shannon jump into that, but just to introduce that, the county has been reaching out to RMP to centralize some of our operations. For example, there is a rumor of a possibility of centralizing staff developers. We have yet to receive any notice from the county, so therefore, as today, RMP is not, we don't have any agreement or any meeting with the county to centralize the staff developers. There are rumors and we're hearing about concerns. We are going to address that. We have a meeting coming up to address those concerns. We just want, just in case people think, because we want to be as transparent as we can with all of you. Every time we find something, we want our membership to be aware of those issues as well. So Shannon will walk through we have some consolidation where some units are being merged. We're having a meet and confer. Meet and confer is a process that we use on the labor when there's any change of working conditions. The union and the county will meet to mitigate the impact of those changes. Some of the meetings that we've been having, so that all our members are aware that RMP has been busy working on a lot of issues. We'll go ahead and update you on some of those. Shannon, you want to go?
Sure. The first two that I'm going to address are things that were proposed in the mid-year budget to try to save money. The first one is consolidating 3 ARU and 3 RRU. We're actually still working on this. We've had some great nurses in these units helping as our experts, but what they want to do is merge the units and change the ratios. So 3 RRU, which is 1 to 2, the ratios for both units are going to go 1 to 5. So with that 1 to 5, the county was proposing reducing 7 FTEs on the units as they merged. We actually requested lots of data showing that the county is using extra help to staff the units in core staffing. Like they could have 7 full-time extra, 7 of the extra help positions with the hours that they have show that those are 7 full-time hours is what I'm trying to say. So there should really be no reductions. Plus they're floating people every day to meet core staffing. Mm-hmm. So with those changes, we've worked to reduce the changes by attrition. So people that have left and have vacant codes. And the other thing is we're looking to see if people want to reduce their codes to also make it so people aren't moving. Our last proposal, we're waiting for the county to come back to us to show us what they're proposing, how they want to move people. They want to move people over by their code. So let's say, for example, if I want to eliminate half code from 3 ARU, I'm going to just take that position and move it over to the other area. So they want to just move people across. People wouldn't be losing their jobs, but they want to move them as they are. So it's more like a transfer of positions. We completed our meet and confers with IICU and SICU. Those 2 units are going to merge. What's really important, I'm going to say about us going through the meet and confer process of this is we've learned that a lot of the ICU units, the charge comes out of their responsibilities as the charge and will go to break relief, and then the break reliever is used in care. Why that's so important that we have the documentation and people showing us through the notice of staffing level form that they're short is that's documentation that we're using to try to make sure that we're able to keep a charge. So we've worked with them to try to get a commitment that they'll have an extra resource as we're going through this transition period and the units remain separate. So we're still looking at what's going to happen when they merge those units because they just want to have 1 charge nurse. The other thing is they eliminated 2 assistant nurse managers positions. So they're going to have 4 assistant nurse manager positions in that IICU, SICU unit. We're waiting for the final document to come back with everything we've agreed to with that. Then we do also have a few other meet and confers. The county was proposing having our vascular access nurses from VMC go to O'Connor and Regional Hospital. And we already are short vascular access nurses, so we were able to make a case through that meet and confer process that that wasn't going to work, and the county took that off the table. So we consider that to be a win. We also have the county proposing for the RRT nurses that they would be available if there's a pediatric code, and also respond to codes over in the new adolescent psychiatric building. And our nurses don't want to do that. They're adult nurses, and they don't feel safe doing that.
And just so you know, the child adolescent facility is planned to open in August. So tentatively is August 5th, but that can change. As you all know, the county, they're asking RRT nurses to respond to that building. And we feel like the RRT nurses already got to cover a lot of real estate at VMC. It's not fair unless you're adding more staff and you can train them to respond to that. But at this time, RMP is not in agreement for that. And we're not also in agreement to have our RRT nurses respond to pediatric code whites. Usually we have resources in PEDS to respond to that. I think the county is trying to cut down on those resources and allow the hospital RRT to respond. RMP currently is not in agreement with that, just so you're aware.
Then we also have a proposal for from the specialty center. They want the GI nurses to be able to go fill in the surgical specialty unit when they're short-staffed. And GI is already short-staffed, so our nurses don't feel like that is a safe thing. So we're going through the meet and confer process with that. We also have a proposal on the table with infection control nurses. It's about moving or changing their workload and be able to cover for each other. And then we also have another proposal that the county wants to move the sepsis nurses under the leadership of quality. And our nurses want to make sure that they are on since they're bedside nurses, they want to be overseen by somebody that understands their issues. And so that's something else that we're meeting and confirming.
Let me talk about that just a little bit, because this will, and a lot of the nurses will appreciate that, especially nurses in the ED. So our sepsis nurses, whenever we have sepsis alert, they will send a resource nurse to come and help us down in the ED. And that resource nurse will help you meet all your necessary timeline. For example, when you start fluids, antibiotics, when you can get the patient to the floor. If that patient needs pressors, when that pressure starts and when you can take them to ICU. Usually they'll escort the patient to the floor. And if that patient ends up in MICU, what happens is the MICU nurse might be busy with another patient. That resource, that sepsis nurse will stay with the patient, stabilize the patient with the pressors until that nurse is able to come and see the patient. That is very resourceful. And also with stroke patient, our stroke nurses, whenever we have a stroke alert in any of the hospital, those stroke nurses will respond. They will come and help you meet your timeline, even help you transport the patient to CT scan, and help if you have to TNK, you will start TNK at the same time with them. And they will stay with the patient, help you. And if that patient is going to MICU after a TNK, they will take the patient with them. So they've been doing that, right? So they are clinical nurses. But now the county is proposing them, moving them under quality. And that is a challenge because under quality, you collect more data, you do more other things, you don't do bedside, right? So we are asking the county, do not move these clinical specialist nurses under quality, because then you're taking away the resource of the nurses that we need, especially when you have a stroke patient, we have a sepsis patient. These nurses are very vital, especially to respond to stroke alerts or sepsis alert in any of the aspect of the hospital. So that has been stalled. We haven't heard back from the county since our objections. That's just an update for you all, so you know we're working. Those are some of the changes the county is proposing.
And then we're also working on getting the NP lead pay that was negotiated in contract negotiations implemented as well.
Correct. One more thing, just to go back to the vascular access nurses as an update. Even though the county has taken that proposal back on the table, we just want you all to know. I know the vascular access nurses want to know, there is a rumor going around that the county is opening vascular access training for all other hospitals. Well, we have not been informed of that. If the county is intending on opening any vascular access position, those positions should be posted. And so that will give opportunity for the current vascular access nurses to apply for them. So that is
I have a
how.
request for information on that too.
And we've already sent a request to the county for more information on that. All right, any other update on that? Any other
Centralization.
Yeah, I have one,
centralization?
but I think he was gonna go next.
Okay, you wanna go, Delma?
Yeah.
Are you done with your,
Oh, yeah, Henry's going.
Oh, yeah.
okay, for centralization?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
Henry,
Yeah, thank you. So we have, the county has proposed to create a centralized organizational resource exchange. And basically what that means is the county would like to create an electronic system for nurses who are interested in picking up additional shifts at various other facilities to submit documentation of their competencies and their availability so that they can be hardwired into the schedule, pre-scheduled to work shifts at the other facilities. This is something that they're doing similarly at Regional Medical Center, but the county wants to expand it countywide. And so what we're going to be doing when we're meeting, conferring with the county, is we want to make sure, obviously, that this is a safe process that protects our nurses' licenses, that is in alignment with the contract, and that also maintains the scheduling practices that nurses throughout the county are familiar with. So we're going through that process. In addition, we have negotiations over the Nurse Assignment Wizard, which is a system that will be used to create assignments in the various units. We have negotiations. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, sorry, go ahead, no.
Sorry.
We have negotiations over CPSP, and what the county is attempting to do is squeeze as much out of our nurses in their when they meet with patients so they can bill more. Effectively, that's what it is. And so we have some concerns for the quality of the program and the nurses' ability just to be able to do the work safely. We also have negotiations regarding NP scheduling in the emergency departments at our various facilities. We want to make sure that the NPs are basically not a float pool, but rather assigned like all the other nurses, have one primary assignment and have a regular, consistent schedule. And then finally, we have the VHC San Jose clinic opening, where the county is transferring or proposing to transfer nurses from OBGYN and pediatric clinic at VHC Bascom, and then maternal fetal from Moore Park. And so we are working through that process. If we have any of those nurses here on the call today, we received a notice that the opening is being postponed until July. And those are the issues that I am handling, and I will now hand it off to Thelma Dotson, the Great.
Okay, so nothing on the note.
Yeah.
Okay, so for O'Connor, we got to notice that pediatric urgent care and pediatric urgent care at East Valley were consolidating. And so that location is going to become the family medicine clinics, and we are meeting on that. So that's supposed to happen around July the 1st. That's what's left at O'Connor. Well, I should say.
Well, just so everyone know, we want to give everyone update on what we've been working on. There's so much going on right now in the county, and we know there are lots of anxiety. People are worried about whether there's going to be a layoff or not. The last meeting was well attended. We have over 300 attendants because people were concerned that there was going to be a layoff. Thanks to all our nurses who came together to organize, go to the Board of Supervisors to speak. Thanks to the nurses who show up at the rally we had in December before the end of the year. that was able to help us to offset any major layoff. So when we call you, when there is any need for you to come out, please make sure you show up. We were anticipating the next budget cycle to be some form of cuts. We don't know what those cuts going to look like, but we highly encourage everyone to continue to fill up your forms when you're short staffed. To the custody nurses, if you have, fill up your ADOs, and also, because I mean, they might tell you staffing level form doesn't apply in custody, so please fill up your ADOs and send it to us to the St. Louis. We know St. Louis is a small hospital. You do not have resources like everybody else. Whenever there are issues there, please make sure you bring it to our attention. We were just informed that at St. Louis, guess what? The county just asked for a waiver to use the cafeteria as a waiting room for ED. Wow.
Gurneys, patients on gurneys right outside the cafeteria.
Think about that. Think about that. That is, so we plan on having meeting. We have meeting with the board of super. We're gonna, anyway, this is just an FYI for all of you, so you know we're working on so many issues, not only from custody, and also going back to our regional nurses. We just want to reassure all our regional nurses to know that whenever you have short staffing, RMP with Henry, thank you. We're doing all we can to support you. We're trying to use charge nurses to give breaks. Our contract is clear on that. Every effort should be made to preserve the role of a charge. And what does that mean? And we know sometimes people say, well, we don't have a choice, but our charge can give us a break. But whenever a charge gives you a break, that means that charge is in care. And that's impact the unit. RMP needs to know about that. We're pushing back. We're not going to allow that to happen because they have to respect our contract. And to our corner nurses, just so you know, and we know there are a lot of anxiety at the corner as well with so many of things. I just want to give shout out to the oncology nurses with Danielle. They just have an overflow issue at oncology where they open an overflow. They staff the department for up to 15 patients, give them 3 nurses and a charge nurse and a HSAs. The nurses met, they organized, they talked we reach out to the county, the nursing administration over there. So they were able to push to get them a resource nurse on top of a charge nurse and an extra HSA. So kudos to, so again, we are going to go with some of our wins. The reason I'm saying that is when we organize, when there are issues, I know some of you may think, oh, nothing's gonna happen. No, if we organize, we all come together and speak up, we will affect change. And some of those wins, as you've seen on our newsletters, some of those wins comes as a result of that. So I'll go ahead and send to Henry, and if you want to talk about some of the wins you've gotten,
I just wanted to say one thing before we move on to O'Connor.
Yeah.
That Family Medicine Center is going to be in support of the county's acquisition of the Family and Sports Medicine Residency Program. I don't know where it's located. It doesn't say it's going to be at O'Connor, but it just says that that's in support of the Family and Sports Medicine Residency Program. So just so you know.
Thank you. Go ahead, Henry.
Thank you, Alan. At this time, I would like to introduce one of our awesome, one of many awesome nurses that we have here at RMPA, Jennifer Rogerson, a nurse in the Family Baby Unit at Regional Medical Center, to share the story of the challenges that the nurses experienced there and the tremendous, awesome work they did organizing and fighting back to protect their patients, their practice, and ensure their safety and security. Jen?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, hi, Jen.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Rogerson. I'm an FBU charge nurse at RMC. So when we were preparing to move from O'Connor to regional last fall, management decided to eliminate all of the FBU muck positions, and the FBU charge nurse would assume all of the muck duties. The FBU charge nurse was expected to be stationed at the entrance to the birth center at all times to monitor who goes in or out. However, there was also the expectation that we would still be a charge nurse. So when the floor nurses or resource nurse is busy, the charge would still help with patient care, answer phones, attend huddles, attend codes, help give breaks. So we immediately, multiple times, raised our concerns about how this would absolutely compromise the safety and security of our vulnerable patient population, how it is not realistic to give us more responsibilities while taking away our resources and still expect good outcomes. We had many meetings where we gave real life examples of patient safety and security issues that had already happened just in the first few weeks, that we were open. But our concerns always fell on deaf ears, and management and labor relations stated emphatically, FBU is not getting their mucks back. So the family baby nurses decided to organize. I first reached out to RNPA. I spoke to Thelma. I asked that they request a meet and confer with the county. We gathered signatures. Thank you to all of the RMC nurses who signed our petition. We wore our safe staffing buttons every day at work. I spoke out about our safety concerns at the union rally a couple months ago. And our nurses made it very clear that we were prepared to take public action with the union backing us up. And management ultimately decided not to fight us on this, and they gave us our mucks back. So huge win for us. And I'm sharing this because I feel like it shows what can happen when nurses take ownership of their unit. When you reach out to RNPA, they'll have your back. They're there to support you. They'll fight for you. I know there's a union representative class coming up, and the more nurses who get involved or become reps, the better our units will be for both nurses and patients. And I mean, look at what our little unit accomplished, and it all started with an email to RNPA asking for their help.
Yeah,
Thank you.
100%, Jennifer, 100%.
100%.
Thank you for that. This is a great example of how nurses can affect change by getting together
Yes,
and working together.
thank you.
Well, I was gonna talk about the unit representative training, but Jen, you did such a phenomenal job. There's nothing left for me to say other than we have 4 dates scheduled in May, June, and July. So I'm putting the link in the chat transcript. I want to encourage everyone on this call to sign up to learn how you can affect change, get some new tools in that nursing tool belt to make sure that you're able to take action for yourselves in your practice, and really to be prepared as we go into contract negotiations, what it's going to take and the tools and the training and support we're going to need to make sure that we have a good contract for our nurses. So I have nothing more on that topic to say. Thanks so much.
Let me
Ken.
I just want to piggyback off of that. We are appealing to all our members. If you or someone who you think, because sometimes we have organic leaders, you literally have to encourage them to be unit reps. The work of a unit rep is for you to be just someone of a contact to the unit if changes are happening to the unit. And we can help with creating this training so people know their role as a unit rep. And we welcome people to join, encourage your friends. If you know somebody who you think can be a good advocate, that's how some of us end up to be part of the union. We were handpicked by our fellow nurses at the bedside. I would say, oh, Alan, you should join, you should go be part of RNPA. And here we are, right? So please talk to fellow nurses. And I know some of you, again, RNPA is not just us here on the board. RNPA, Alan Kamara, if we have contract negotiation, have only one vote. So RNPA is all our membership. Whether you're happy or not with what the union does, it is incumbent on every one of us to participate, to be part of the union, to fight our fight. If the board is not doing what we're supposed to do, hold us accountable. You have every right to hold each and everyone accountable if we are not doing what we're supposed to do on behalf of you all. So we encourage you all to be part of a team, be part of the unit's rep training, be somebody in your unit that can advocate. RNPA is going to back you. we are going to back you. And we have some example where some of our unit rep has been retaliated against. We are filing prop charges against the county for that. We are going to fight that to the teeth. RMPA, you pay your dues to defend you. We're gonna make a commitment to all our nurses. If you are one of our nurses, somebody go out, we will do everything to protect and defend you. So we recommend people to please participate. Let's have a discussion and how we can strengthen RMPA moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you for those 5 RSVP guys.
Yes.
Bring some friends with you.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, and who wants to go? So we have a timekeeping issues. Oh my goodness, nightmare in the county. We honestly don't know where to start with timekeeping because we've had this issue. Like there's not a unit. If any unit if somebody can say they've never had a timekeeping issue in that unit right now, we will give them a free class to our RMP upcoming class right now.
On the spot.
Yes, on the spot. If anyone says, if you say you've never had a problem with timekeeping on your unit, just put your name in. Even if you pay already for the class, we will reimburse you.
It'll be amazing. You'll be 1 in a million.
Yes, that is not the case. And we are working on so many issues to resolve. Henry, you want to take it on, please?
Yes, thank you. I also want to introduce one of the other great nurses. We have many great nurses. Tony Lay is one of the great nurses that we have over at RMC OR. He's the elected PPC representative, and Tony can share the story of the challenges, the many challenges. That's an understatement, I think. The nurses in the OR were experiencing and how the nurses teamed up and took action together. Is that Eric, my buddy Eric over there? He has lots to share on this topic as well. So go for it, Tony.
Tony, I work over in the OR. Sorry, we're hearing this twice here. Yeah, so I guess since I've transferred over here from Valley Med back in July, we were having pay issues. Anything from call pay, being on call, differentials, night, PM, weekends. And it wasn't just my pay, it was everyone's pay. It wasn't just the RN's pay, it was the scrub tech's pay, it was our OR techs, orderlies. I mean, literally every single person in our unit had issues with pay. And it just took a lot of talking and discussing, and I kind of figured, well, why don't we do something about this? It seems to be an issue. We did everything we could on our end to fix this. We talked to Eunice, the timekeeper, the previous timekeeper, Eric Nodine, and just trying to figure out a system in terms of how can we prevent this. We couldn't really come to a conclusion until we started filing grievances. I talked to Henry. We figured out the system per the contract as to how we should go about it, when we should get paid, how we should get paid, when we should hear back, and when we should start the process of the grievance. To conclude, we finally got some solutions. We got a new timekeeper who is more familiar with the pay that is related to the OR being on call, the whole schedule. And we're currently working on back pay. That's a whole nother issue that we're working on right now. Eric is one of our nurses that has been here since Regional took over, and he is in the process of trying to get all his money back. And it's been a very tedious, long process. He's working with Eric Nodine, he's working with Henry. But we have to talk about this because there's a lot of new staff members who are afraid to speak up about their missing pay. And if we don't follow grievances, then how would this ever get corrected? But no one should ever feel afraid in terms of getting their money, what's owed to them. So I need people to speak up and just file grievances so we can get this solution just all fixed. Eric, anything you want to add in terms of I've been paid back on a few of my paychecks, and I didn't go back as far as Eric has, but Eric is.
Yeah, I went back to the very, very beginning because I was not sure if I was supposed to be getting certain differential pays if I was on a callback, and I learned that in fact I am entitled to that. So I did an audit from the very beginning and noticed I'm owed so many different hours on differential pay, but I was only paid 18 since April 1st, and that is just very incorrect. I did file 2 official grievances through Henry through his direction, and I just realized got my last one. So because of the process, I was able to get those 2 paid for, so it worked out well. But everything else I'm missing, I have to, I guess, file another official agreement. So I'm going through that process.
And
it's been a nightmare.
It's also a nightmare because most of the nurses here or staff members do not have access to Kronos. So how do we keep track of our hours by what the hospital is keeping track? So I mean, I have everything on my Google Calendar, but it won't match in terms of what Kronos is showing. So that's the only way we can really keep track is through Kronos. And there seems to be some pushback as to why we can't. Everyone should be getting Kronos to keep track. Because it's if not for that, then it's just my words versus what is written on the exception form. And we're just at the mercy of the higher ups in terms of getting our payback.
So thank you for that. Just so you know, one of our board member, Trisha Biddle, has taken this task on to make sure our nurses, at least all of our nurses, can get access to Corona. We sent a letter to the county addressing this because, especially at RMC, some nurses still do not have access, and some nurses at other facilities still do not have access to Corona. We went to the county executive. We brought the concern to them. The county executive, who is James Williams, heard us, and they are working on making sure at least all our nurses that need access can get access. I think currently they're having a new software. They're updating our Corona into cloud. So that way, if you notice within the last month or so, Corona has been having some issues because they're updating Corona. So, and they want to create a system where ANSOS can talk to Chrono. ANSOS is the scheduling system, right, and Chrono is different. So the problem that we have with timekeeping, when the scheduler are inputting from ANSOS to Chrono just so you get paid, and sometimes every time you have any manual input, there's a tendency of a lot of mistakes. That no excuse. However, we went to the county and they promised they will make sure that is taken care of. But I just want to give a shout out to Trish Biddle for taking that task on as well, and to all of you over at RMC. And just so you know, Henry just got authorized to file 30 grievances. 30. So 30. So it doesn't
Only
matter.
one of those are my brother Eric's.
Yes, it doesn't matter if we have 100 nurses that are impacted. We will file 100 grievances so our nurses can get paid. Just so you know, just FYI.
Yes. And I guess there, from a lot of hearing back from a lot of people, when Eric Nordini says we did pay you back or we paid you back on a previous check, there's no clarity in terms of how it's paid. Supposedly his software that he uses, PeopleSoft, can break it down, but when it's delivered to us in the form of a separate check or built into another check, there's no description saying this is your retro payback from this date to this date for this time. It's just his words saying we did pay you back. It's in there. You have to do the math. And then again, how do we do the math if we don't have access to Kronos? You know what I mean? It's just it's walls after walls after walls after walls. And at some point, you're going to have staff members just basically give up. And I don't want them to give up. I want to just keep fighting, get your money.
So only on one of my grievances, I was issued a separate check, which made sense. It was very clear. I was missing 24 hours on my first official grievance. I got a separate check and it's clearly stated 24 hours of on-call pay. It made
Yes.
sense. Every
Yes.
other grievance, it's just been, I've noticed 3 different checks have additional hours in it, but I have no idea where it came from. I don't know which dates they paid me for, and there's no description. And I can't go back to Kronos thinking that there would be an edit on that date that I'm being paid for, and it's not there. So I have no idea what I'm getting paid for.
We
It's
brought that
still,
up.
it's still blank, so I have no
Yeah,
idea.
so just so you know, you're talking about line item. We brought that out to the county and we're addressing that to make sure when nurses are paid that there's a line item on it that this is for X.
That would be helpful, yes.
And then you receive a notification.
And then you receive a notification, yes.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Before
Henry.
we move on, I'm a believer in identifying patterns and when they're good patterns, replicating them. In both scenarios that we had here, all it took is one nurse to reach out and ask for help, and the nurses taking collective action together to support that nurse and support each other. In this case, we have Jennifer and Tony that has created change, right? And so that's a really important element that it's important for everyone to take away here. You can be that one nurse that creates change in your unit, in your hospital, in this county. And so I just want to call out and recognize all the change makers, either the first person that reaches out or all the nurses that support them. This is how we make change, and this is how we make improvements for everyone. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Before we go, let me just talk about the East Side Career Day. So every year, San Jose, every year, RMPA will be contacted by different schools to see if we want to participate in the Career Day, and especially in the East Side. This year is at the Independent High. We have a Career Day at the Independent High on Saturday, March 14th. It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're asking some of you, if you're willing and able to participate, to join us. We want to do tabling there. What we do every Career Day, we go to different classes, talk about how we became a nurse, how we can encourage some of these high schoolers to be nurses. Last year, nursing career became the top focus in the schools, and the school district reached out to RMP to thank us for participating, because we had this year one parent reach out to us to thank us and said his son always wanted to do something else, but because of when we went to their school and spoke about being a nurse, her son has chosen to go to nursing school. So we want to encourage our nurses. Just so you know, some of the things that we do in the community, we go encourage high schoolers when they go from high school to consider nursing as a career. As you all know, we talk about the shortage of nurses, and there's a lot of transition from some of the senior nurses retiring. And what an opportunity for us to go to these schools, encourage some of these students to become nurses. So if anybody, Henry, if you want to post that on the, I don't know if you can bring it up. I sent something to you so people can see that, can RSVP. And even if you don't RSVP, the address is going to be 67 North Jackson Avenue. It's going to start from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Saturday. You don't have to stay for the whole time. You can just come in and do one class and talk to a student and leave, and talk to a classroom and leave. When we meet, we would like to meet there so we can just have a huddle and just have people know what to talk about, how you become this. Student will ask you questions about nursing, and it will be good to have different nursing background from different units.
I think we're blasting it out too.
Yeah, we're gonna blast it out, and we're gonna blast it out to everyone as well. So please feel free to, Henry, did you post it on the link?
I'm trying to get it on my computer so I can post
Okay,
it.
no problem. And we're gonna blast it as well. So that way, we think it's awesome that we go out and reach out to the community. That might be somebody who's your nephew, or a niece, or your brother, your sister, or for your son or your daughter, as a matter of fact. So we want to send that out to you all again. And as you talking about classroom, we have our CE class coming up March 25th. Thank you for all those who were able to register for the class. Thank you to Bobby, one of our board of directors here at Education, with all the board and all the staff for working so hard, recruiting people to encourage people to attend this class. And especially at a time like this when mental health is a huge burnout for our nurses. Short staffing is causing so much burnout for our nurses. We feel like this class will be really, people will enjoy this class. And we have gifts that will be given during the class. We're talking about Brock Williams and one of the Spa in Santana Row. We're giving a gift card there's going to be a raffle, and nurse going to win that. I think there was another raffle for an Apple Watch.
Yeah, Apple iWatch.
Yeah, an Apple Watch that we're going to give for people who are attending. There's going to be a raffle on that. And also we did send a notice to everyone. The first 25 people that will register, I think there was a timeline that we sent out, will get a $50 gift certificate, the 25th, and the next 25 a gift dollar certificates. We send that out already to people. But we look forward to seeing everyone. If you haven't yet registered for the class, please talk to your colleagues, and we hope to see you all at the class. With any other topic, and also we want to give a shout out. I think you all received a quarterly newsletter. In that newsletter, we just want to give a shout out to all our nurses that have won the Daisy Award. Congratulations to all our nurses for the Daisy Award. And shout out also go to the PCU nurses at St. Louis for winning the entire department for winning the Daisy Award for the work that they're doing at St. Louis as well. And another very important, profound thing that happened at St. Louis, I'll let James, you talk about that in your ICU. I think you all may have seen that on our newsletter as well.
Yeah, it's in the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, please let us know. If you're on the call and you're not receiving this information regarding the classes and the blasts, please give us a call and update your email with our office. So to get back at little St. Louise down south, there was a patient not doing very well, pretty poor family. Patient ended up passing away, one of the matriarchs of the family. We found out shortly after the passing that the family couldn't afford any funeral services or cremation services of any kind and didn't know what to do. So the nurses there, headed by Shirley Matthews, one of our charge nurses that day, she was able to organize the nurses, even those who weren't working. She organized and they all pitched in, and we all, within a couple hours, were able to get all the money required working with social services and was able to pay for those services for them.
100%.
100% paid for, and a little extra on the side for.
Okay, that was some of the work that our nurses do. Please, if there's anything that you think RMPA should be involved in the community to help within our nurses group here, or a community that will benefit our nurses, please feel free. Take that leadership. Come to us. We will help sponsor. We will help support you to do it, because every time our nurses make changes in the community, it's a representation for all our registered nurses, professional association nurses.
Yeah.
So shout out to all those nurses who are doing wonderful things out there for their community.
And we know it's not localized. You guys are all doing very hard work.
Yes.
And you guys are doing your own little surprises and miracles in your units. So please let us know what's going on. We will post you on our newsletter. It's very important that everybody know that.
We go ahead and do a quick question and answers now, please. Go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say.
Question and answer, please feel free. I know we have time. We will extend the time for you to answer some of your questions, please.
Okay, VSCRN has a question.
Go ahead.
Hey, not a question, but there's actually on SharePoint, if you go under forms, there is a Kronos DocuSign form that every nurse could initiate themselves. So it you click on the link, it goes to a DocuSign, you fill in your name, your cost center, your manager's name, all that information. And then it gets forwarded to manager and to, well, in my case for outpatient, it's Eric Nodine. I don't know, for every inpatient, it's someone different. And so you can track it that way. So if the manager is saying, oh, I can't give you access, well, you can initiate access yourself. You don't have to wait for them to request it for you.
Thank
I
you so
can
much.
email that link to someone.
Please, you mind emailing that to us so we can send that to our members?
That's access to Chronos too.
Yeah, that's access to Chronos.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you what the county's been telling us is that they have a limited number of those accessibilities supposedly. So definitely apply to get it, but if you're denied, let us know as well.
Okay, then we have, Haley has something and then Henry.
Hold on, Henry wanna go. Henry, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, whenever you do submit payroll corrections, it's important to reach out to our MPA to help you keep track of the timelines, because there are grievance timelines that are involved, and the county will say that we are untimely if we don't file grievances in a timely manner. So whenever you do submit a payroll correction, please reach out to our MPA so that we can help you with the process. That was all. Thank you.
Thank you. And include RMPA in the when the filing. Go ahead.
Haley.
Haley, go ahead.
I also just wanted to say that I filled out the Chronos form before and it was not successful, but is that something I should forward on to Henry to let you know? My manager's well aware. I filled it out months ago and I just had no success.
Yes, forward it to us and we'll push it through. Yes,
and then also should I be doing an occurrence report when the paychecks are messed up as well?
Yes.
Okay, what would I label it as? I've had this problem before where I'm looking on the occurrence report page and I'm just not sure what to put it under.
The for workplace violence?
Paycheck shortage.
Oh, for payroll.
I'll send her the form. Haley, I'll send you the
Thanks.
form.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, then somebody text up front, will this webinar be uploaded online when?
Yes, we will update this as soon as, hopefully by Angelia, do you know what timeline we'll have to update this?
Sorry about that, had to unmute. It takes a while for it to render, so probably at the soonest it'll be sometime tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Latest, we will get you to you at the end of the week.
Okay, anybody else have questions? Okay, Samantha.
Samantha, go ahead.
This might be like a personal question, but if I was denied my Weingarten rights when being pulled into the office by a manager when I had reason to believe it could lead to investigation, is there an occurrence report that we can file for that, or is that just something I do directly with you guys?
Deal with us
directly, please. ASAP.
Yeah. ASAP.
Okay, I sent an email Friday night.
Okay.
So you guys want to?
So just so you know, Samantha, all the issues that are happening in NICU, as I'm sitting in front of you, we have a PERP charge that is going to PERP, and we are sending an unfair labor practice charge with the county on behalf of a lot of things. We don't want to miss our timeline, so we're going to send the first one and we'll make amendment as they retaliate against you all in NICU because you spoke up. We felt like what's happening in NICU is a complete retaliation against the nurses that spoke up, and hence is why we're encouraging our nurses to be unit rep, because RMPA will make sure we defend you all the way out.
And you can call me this Shannon today. We can talk about it too, because I do have kind of a little bit of an update.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks, Samantha. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything that they want to ask or make a comment?
So recap on the layoffs. This is important. Everybody's going to want to know, pass it on. May 1st is the earliest RMPA is going to know about anything regarding layoffs. Okay. So that's when we'll be able to come out with more information. If they do.
If there are any layoffs.
Yeah.
So the last layoff was handled poorly by the county. Going back to section 5.1, 5.1 gives the definition of seniority. If you go to 5.8, 5.8 will tell you when should the county notify the union for layoff? And by then, the county should have already given RMPA all seniority list. And RMPA should get the list of the impacted members. And once we have the list of the impacted members, we can also ask for a vacancy list to make sure there are vacant positions. What does that do to help us? It helps us if we go through the layoff process in a unit by inverse seniority. The ones that are left out, we can find way to put them in a placement if there are open positions. And that's why whenever the county is deleting vacant position, we need to know those positions. If you have a position in your department that is being held and deleted, let us know, because that's going to impact you tomorrow when there is a layoff. So what we do, we track those vacant positions where they're going. If you want to lay off anybody in a unit, we can fight for that nurse to be placed elsewhere. RMPA promised to engage with the layoff team that the county has created to handle all the layoff processes. So we make sure we know all our nurses who are being impacted are placed correctly. That is our role. This past layoff, we have about 47.
Yeah, we had 47 vacant positions eliminated. We were
Yes.
able to save 3 assistant nurse managers in psychiatric services.
Yes.
And then 3 positions were eliminated. Well, it's really 2.5.
Yes.
And those nurses were all placed in positions.
Yes.
Okay, next question is, can you also upload the one from last month, the webinar last month regarding layoffs, please?
Correct. The last month one, the reason why we didn't uploaded that one, that was in 2 hours of lot of back and forth. We did not upload it because we are worried about it's going to create confusion, because the way some of the questions were answered and we were going back and forth, it may have been misunderstood. And because this past layoff did not really impact but no one lost their job. And we want to make sure we don't create a panic. But we're planning on making a short video. We talked to Telma, and hopefully Danielle and Henry. We're planning, hopefully they can do a 15 minutes video with a quick Q&A and send it out to all of you, and with a Q&A in text as well. That is the hope.
Okay, Ben Gabon has a question.
Go ahead, Ben.
Hi, you guys. I had seen a proposal previously that the county wanted to eliminate like 4 nurse manager positions as well as some clinical nurse 3 positions. And then they wanted to hire 4 A&M positions and then a bunch of LVN and psychiatric technicians. Do you know if that's still on the table or has that been stopped?
Are you talking about the one in custody?
Yeah, that's
Correct.
all happened.
Yes, so those were 10 FTEs that were deleted, but then they're bringing 7 A&Ms and some LVNs and 8 LVNs. So yeah, that is in the past budget, that already went through government.
It was in the mid-year budget.
Media budget, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, got you. Oh, no. Anyone else have questions?
But Galvan, just so you know, those were vacant positions. So Henry will help you guys, and please, again, the upcoming class, please do not forget.
We have one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
Really quick, it says, okay, if we have extra help and coded nurses leaving our department in the clinic, does the department automatically fill these positions? First question. Some of these 1.0 FTEs, so I'm worried the hospital will just hire more extra help per diem versus coded nurse positions.
That's what they've been doing.
So yes, and if you notice any coded position that's been vacant, let us know so we can monitor it. The county is smart. And even though they send us annual, every month they will send us all vacant positions. But sometimes the way the county is now sending vacant position, they're hiding, they're just putting cost centers. And sometimes they put numbers to them, like for example, during the layoff process, a position was assigned to one of the A&M that position, when we call the manager, the plan manager told us that position doesn't even exist. So the county itself, sometimes they don't sometimes know what they're doing. So please let us know. Yeah.
Ellie has a question.
Who?
Ellie?
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Ellie. I'm working at O'Connor Infusion Center. I was wondering if this short staff form would apply to us too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, staffing levels form, yes.
Did she say, what did she say? Infusion.
Infusion is that,
I think it's, are you a clinic, Ellie, or are you inpatient?
I am in clinic, outpatient at O'Connor.
okay, then they have to fill it out. Fill it out. ADO, fill out the ADO.
Let us know how your staffing is and fill out the ADO.
Especially if it's unsafe and you're worried about your license.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just sometimes we really don't have enough staff to, we don't have resource, charge nurse is busy and nobody to break us and we have to run around to, witness each other, doing all that. It has caused some really stressful and we don't want to make mistakes to risk our licenses.
Yeah. And focus on patient safety.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And also send those details in to me, Ellie,
Sure.
to RNPA so that we can review those.
Sure. And then I don't know, because I hear from other units that when they are short, they have A&Ms to become charged. But I don't know, would that apply to us or not? Because we have A&M that she's here Monday to Thursday. But even though we are short, she never offered to be charged.
Oh, that's a problem because A&M is supposed to be charged.
That's one of their job descriptions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they 100% in the office?
Yes.
No.
No, I mean, she comes out here, like mostly she's doing her paperwork, attending her meeting, or just like witnessing us, but no, nothing sitting at the charge nurse. So the charge could be one of the nurses,
Okay, we'll follow up, but the A&M is supposed to be charged when you're short staffed to help you out.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I will be in touch with them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any more questions?
Nope.
If we don't have any more questions, we've exceeded the time by 12 minutes. We want to thank everyone. Any question last minute?
See you all at the class.
Thank you all. We will transcribe this video and we'll upload this as soon as possible, okay, to everyone.
Yeah, March 25th.
There's one more question that just
Yes.
came in.
Yes.
Can a coded nurse be canceled or floated if an A&M is acting as a charge or taking a patient assignment versus doing his or her A&M duties?
Let's look at the circumstance first. So the A&M can be charged, that's one, correct? The other question is, can a coded nurse be floated? Under what circumstance? Where is the coded nurse being floated? Is it within the same competency area? And if that is the case, yes. They cannot float them out of competency. Now, the other question is, the A&M cannot take assignments. Because if the A&M is floating that nurse because that nurse have an assignment and assume child nurse role and want to take assignment, no. RMPA objects to that.
And they can't do both.
They can, because the A&M cannot do both.
They're also in consideration of being part of the layoff as well, if they are assigned as a charge nurse that day, because everybody takes turns.
Yeah.
So.
Did that answer your question, whoever that person is?
We don't even know the
This looks like
location.
it's in the clinic. So if it's in the clinic, I mean, the assistant nurse manager can be charged and you can be floated, but they shouldn't be charged and taking a patient. So the answer is still the same.
Yeah.
So that means no, they cannot float you if they're asking you to give up your assignment, patient care assignment, so that that charge nurse can be charged and take that. No, we object to that. If that happens, let us know.
It looks like it's Valley Specialty. You can call me. This is Shannon, and we can talk about it.
All right, thanks everyone. Thank you so much.